All right, so let's start talking about these leaks, or not leaks, but I should say concept art that came out for Madam Web, where Tom Holland was going to make an appearance, man. So, Madam Web has come and gone. We all knew it was not going to be a banger. We knew it wasn't going to be a great movie at all, but I had a sliver of hope. I like the initial plot that they had for this movie before it got changed to something completely different. And that initial plot was it was basically going to be Terminator in the Spider-Man world. The bad guy Ezekiel is finding out Spider-Man's going to be born. I'm going to go take him down. And Madam Web's having these visions of the future of, no, you can't kill baby Peter. He's very important. And well, that turned out to not even really be part of the movie. Instead, it was the Spider Women, which I did like. I thought the actresses could have maybe have saved the movie if they weren't given terrible dialogue. But now we know what they were originally hoping for. This was concept art that was revealed for the movie, and it was going to be a scene where Tom Holland is fighting Ezekiel, looking like he's fallen out of the sky. Don't know how they got that high, unless it's from this building here, where they're fighting, crashing down, and whatnot. So you look at this, and your immediate first thought is, how how is this gonna fit into the movie? What were they gonna do here? And well, there's some good theories online. People are saying this was most likely one of Ezekiel's nightmares in Madam Web. If you watch the movie, and heck, if you didn't, I don't blame you. But if you did, you know in the movie, he has nightmares. Ever since he got his spider powers, every day he goes to sleep and he sees the three spider women going to kill him. And so he's tired of having that nightmare. He's like, oh, you're not going to Freddy Krueger me, ladies. I'm going to find you and I'm going to kill you before you get your powers. So that's kind of the basis of the movie. It looks like his real dream at first was going to be him against Tom Holland. And that would be his recurring nightmare, is that one day Tom Holland Spider-Man is going to kill me. And I was like, oh, dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. But no, instead they didn't do that. I think a lot of people pointed out this is most likely when Sony was about to part ways from the MCU. If you remember, a couple years back, it was announced that Sony and Marvel, their contract has gone up to share Spider-Man. They couldn't renegotiate terms, and Sony was going to walk away and do their own thing. Tom Holland was so sad. I think he said it in interviews, like he called up Bob Iger, the CEO, all drunk, like, please let me back into the MCU, Bob. I need it, please. Poor Tom. And we're glad they worked out that deal. But if they didn't, this is what we were about to get. And oh man, this would have made me so mad. It would have been on the level of Vulture in Morbius, because I think Vulture was a cool villain. Vulture was a really badass villain that they did right in Homecoming, set up a good story, all that. Even had a good reason for Vulture to be the villain again in the new Spider-Man movie. I know people don't want some recurring villains, but I wouldn't have mind Vulture to come back, because remember, the only reason Vulture goes good at the end of Homecoming is because he realizes Peter Parker's behind that mask, and he knows Peter Parker's a good kid, and he's maybe taking things too far, so he's like, you know what, going to jail, and I'm not going to tell Scorpion who Spider-Man is, which is Peter Parker. Flash forward to the end of No Way Home, well, he doesn't know who Peter Parker is anymore. All he knows is Spider-Man put him in prison and broke his family up. So he has a reason to hate Spider-Man again. But no, Sony did not want to go with that logical story point for the MCU. And instead they said, how about we randomly teleport him to the Morbius world? They go become friends, and Morbius goes, intriguing. Oh, dude, that pissed me off in the theater, man. And I feel like this is what have pissed me off in Madam Web if they tried connecting it to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And that also goes to show you, Sony only wants Tom Holland to be their main Spider-Man, even if it's in an alternate world, because this was supposed to take place, I don't think, in the MCU. This was going to take place in their Sonyverse with Venom, Morbius, and all those other characters. And if you remember the Morbius director, let me see if I can find the article. Morbius, Sony Spider-Man soon. Keywords, and hopefully it pops up. Morbius, director. The director of Morbius was like heavily hinting that, yeah, see, let's go. Morbius director teases Sony vs. Spider-Man will be revealed soon. This was before. He was probably even shown this concept art at one point. He's like, dude, after your movie Morbius, we got this Madam Web movie. We're going to reveal who Spider-Man is in our universe there. And it was going to be Tom Holland. I know people want Andrew and Toby. That stuff does not make sense to me, because why would you want to taint the Sam Raimi universe with people like Ezekiel, Morbius, part of that world? I know Andrew Garfield had one bad movie. I still like TASM 2, but people call it bad. It was not bad enough to then mush Venom into his universe and all this other stuff. I'm sorry. I think Andrew is above the Venom quality of movies. I know people like Venom, but I just have a hard time getting really into those movies. So I know that disappoints people, but this goes to show you, Sony at the end of the day wants Tom Holland to be their MCU Spider-Man and their Sony-verse Spider-Man. It's just going to be the same guy. And because it's the multiverse, you can have the same guy playing the same character. He could just be slightly different. But no, that's not what ended up happening. At the end of the day, they realized they had not a great movie on their hands. This also makes sense, like why Emma Roberts was in the movie. You remember Emma Roberts plays the dang mom of Peter, and she's like kind of a big, I don't want to say like a big actress. Like she's very popular, has a nice following and stuff. You put someone as big and talented as Emma Roberts in there, and she has like 3 minutes of screen time and is like not even relevant to the plot. It's like you could see at one point she was supposed to be the Sarah Connor, fighting off Ezekiel, being protected by the Spider Women, and no, they got rid of that all. So thank goodness this did not happen. But dude, can you imagine the concept art that is floating around right now for Kraven the Hunter and what they're hoping to do in there? Who knows how they're even trying to include Tom Holland Spider-Man in there? But they're trying to. Probably not though, since the movie's rated R. I doubt they'll go ahead and actually do the go ahead on that. Other than that, I saw this other photo that was floating around, and let me just debunk it because some people still believe it. See, some people were saying this is going to be the concept art for what Sony's Spider-Man suit was going to look like. And while this is not a bad suit, I think it's actually kind of an all right suit. I'm still pissed that they still do that with the belt. What is so wrong with just having a clean belt? The belt to me has always been messed and touched around on a Spider-Man suit, whether it's the first Amazing Spider-Man suit or even the Tom Holland suit with the little like web shooter cartridges there. Just give me a clean belt. It does not resemble underwear to me. Leave it alone. So again, if it didn't have these like black lines in the belt to separate it and it was just more of a clean belt, I'd be happy with this suit. But it is not official concept art for the Madam Web movie. In fact, here they even this person was was correcting the information, saying this is fan art, and it was being shared around, acting like it was Madam Web concept art. But it is not part of the newly released concept art that we got here with like Ezekiel floating around. So I don't know, man. I'm still so curious to what Sony's plans are once they release Kraven the Hunter, because I feel like they flopped with Morbius. They flopped with Madam Web. I think Kraven is going to do fine. I don't think it's going to make Venom money. Like Venom managed to get $800 million its first movie and only didn't keep climbing, but it got enough to where it was very profitable. I would say like 300, 250 max for Kraven the Hunter. No way it gets to like 500 million. If Kraven the Hunter gets to that much, I will be blown away. I will also be sad because that means Kraven then is going to stick in his universe, do his own 3 solo movies where he never meets Spider-Man, and we'll never see Kraven pop up against Tom Holland in his movies, just like with Venom. They're teasing him at the end of No Way Home, but I doubt we'll get him. They teased Scorpion 300 movies ago. We still haven't seen him. So we'll see how it goes, guys. But how did you feel about this Madam Web concept art?